now, from the secret hidden bunker in the Rocky Mountains, it's time for Triggered, and I'm your host, Michael Bain. You know, it is not often that I can actually show you something and say, this is what perfection looks like. This is a perfect 1911. It is an Ed Brown Kobra Carry. Now, Ed Brown is one of the OGs of master 1911 gunsmiths. Started working part-time as a gunsmith in 1968. And all through the period of time that I was shooting IPSC, that I was shooting heavy-duty practical pistol competition, we would see this amazing product come from Ed Brown. This is, in a lot of ways, the culmination of it. I think Ed has been making a Kobra Carry for 20-some-odd years. The interesting thing about it was he was maybe the very first person to say, you know, all that money you guys are spending on custom competition pistols, doesn't it make sense for you to carry a gun built with the same care, the same top-end parts, the same hand fitting that you take to the range? The result was a Kobra Carry, and a lot of us at the time it came out looked at it with awe, and none of us could afford it at that time. Too much money going into ammunition. But this gun, to me, hits every single point for a perfect 1911. Number one, Ed Brown essentially reinvented the 1911. He went through every single part, speccing them, looking at tolerances, re-engineering them to make them be able to be produced perfectly on modern machinery. Let me just quickly show you one of those parts. Believe me, we're going to do a lot more on this gun before I have to send it back, probably a whole show. But this is the Ed Brown Memory Groove Beaver Tail. When this appeared in the Brownells catalog, believe me, we could not get to our credit cards fast enough because it solved the problem of small hands or a bad grip not being able to make the gun work, not releasing that grip safety. This works all the time. And that is typical of the kind of engineering, the kind of design that Ed put into these guns. The bobtail. First I thought, well, that's really silly. Now I can't imagine a 1911 without one. So take a quick look at perfection here. Like I said, we're going to come back. We're going to do a lot more with this gun, probably a whole show. But Mr. Brown, this is just beautiful. We'll be right back.
You know the RIA 5.0 packs radically new innovations, but we didn't stop there. Introducing the RIA 5.0E. The E stands for enhanced, as in new optics cuts and plates. The updated barrel is crafted with improved materials and slide geometry. The look and feel is also enhanced. Plus, new lightning cuts show off the updated match-grade barrel. Experience the enhanced RIA 5.0E today.
Welcome back to Triggered, brought to you this week, by the way, by MTM Case Guard, who is our bulwark against hopeless disorganization. I mentioned to you in the past that later this summer I'm going to be taking a class at GUNSITE, I believe with Lou Gosnell, on the lever action rifle and handgun. Now Lou said I could pick any handgun I wanted, but you know, using a lever action rifle, I thought that it made sense to at least go with a double action revolver. Something that Daryl Bolke, who you've seen a lot here on Triggered and the Michael Bain podcast, said years and years ago to me, is that if you're not learning lever action rifle and double action pistol, you're really not doing everything you need to do to be an all-round shooter. So I made the decision to go with Rossi, because of course Rossi is a sponsor here. The pistol I chose was the RM64, their target model. Now this just came back, they're empty there. This just came back from Dave Fink, Fink's Custom Gunsmithing. He is the gunsmith in residence at GUNSITE. And he's done other work for me, a lot of other work for me. This is now a great gun. Of course, carbon steel, 4-inch barrel, adjustable sights, replaceable front sight. I'm now shopping around to find a fiber optic front to fit in here because I think I'm going to shoot the class with iron sights. Old school. But the great thing about it now that Dave Fink has worked his magic is this. That's a 10-pound, 3-ounce double action trigger pull. It is smooth, absolutely slick, makes this gun a cakewalk to shoot. Single action, should I ever need it, it is exactly 4.0 pounds. That's 5 repetitions on my Lyman digital trigger gauge. What I like about this gun is it's essentially K-frame size. It's about 32 ounces. I chose a holster for it, what I consider a class holster, which is a competition holster, and that would be this guy. This is an International from CompTac. I've used International CompTac holsters in competition for years and years and years. They are very, very good. You'll notice cast on the size, it says K-frame for K-frame Smith & Wesson, and it does in fact fit perfectly here. It's a little tight. I haven't loosened up all the screws yet to get it set up perfectly for the draw that I want, but I'm really excited about taking this class, and I'm really excited about running this gun. It's been a long time since I was running something less than a great big competition revolver. This will be fun. Now, what am I going to do for the rifle? I'll show you when Triggered gets back. This week's Triggered is brought to you by Rossi. The legend continues. Stoger, everyday tough. Hunter's HD Gold. They change so you don't have to. MTM Case Guard, quality shooting sports accessories. And Ed Brown, the best money can buy for over 50 years. Welcome back to Triggered. This is my choice for the rifle to use in the lever action handgun class later at GUNSITE. This is also a Rossi, as I mentioned. It is a triple black in 357, 38 Special Plus P. It's obviously a copy of the Winchester 92, the venerable Winchester 92, as we always say. Interesting thing about Rossi is they've been making guns since 1889, which is a really long time. They've been making lever action rifles since I think late 60s, early 70s. In fact, I have a number of Rossis because I like them. This is one that I picked up at a gun show maybe 25 years ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. It's marked 357. It's marked Rossi from Brazil. It's a gun that I found was really fun to shoot at long ranges. I think I paid some kibbles and some bits for it, not very much at all. But it's been a great rifle over the decades, just a super, super little rifle. You can see it's so old that it doesn't have any of the ridiculous redundant safety that pretty much is on all Rossi 92s now. I think that came in around 2000. I would never tell you how to do this because it's wrong and it's evil, but you can replace this safety with a little button that you can get from Steve's Guns down in Texas. But please don't tell a single soul that I told you to do it. Cool thing about this gun, obviously, it's black painted wood, spatter painted wood, same thing we saw in the Marlin Dark. A forward mounted rail. It's got a peep sight in it. Obviously, you can mount a red dot on it. My intention is to mount a Trijicon miniature rifle optic, which is a gun that I've used often on lever action rifles and had it work out very, very well. Comes a 16.5-inch barrel. It's threaded for a suppressor. The trigger pull on this is very, very good. It's got the big lever, which I wish it didn't. A lot of my Rossis I've gone through and replaced the big lever with the smaller lever because you can run it faster. But I like these guns. It's super light. To me, it makes an ideal, say, self-defense gun for the house. When we were doing the Best Defense, we were doing an episode on lever actions in the home as self-defense. Mike Seeklander, one of the greatest instructors ever, he goes, dude, I don't have a lever action. Could you loan me one? So I loaned him a 357 lever action. 2 years later, I'm like, Seeklander, you have to give it back. And he goes, will you sell it to me? I said, no. But that's how good a rifle it is. That's how good it is for self-defense. So I'm going to be shooting these a lot, but the great thing is with 38 Special, ain't going to beat me up. I'm Michael Bain. This is Triggered. You can find us on michaelbain.tv, where we are always free, a great reservoir of knowledge there. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Rumble. You can find us on X. Until next week, you guys get in some shooting. Be safe out there.